Hey, what's up guys, it's Hoodie360, and today I want to talk about one of my favorite franchises in all of fiction. A franchise that, despite the fact that I only got into it a few years ago, I think of it very highly, and it's one of those rare franchises that I would consider to be a full-time masterpiece. Let me introduce you guys to Avatar. Wait a minute. Get out of here! Now! Get the fuck out of here! No one likes you! Fuck off! There we go. That Avatar. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, like I said earlier, I've only been a fan of this franchise for a few years, but I did know what it was. During the COVID lockdown, I was browsing through Netflix one day, and I found it. So I thought, why not? And then I binge-watched it, and I fell in love with everything about it. First, I binged all 3 seasons, then I read the stories that take place after Book 3, then I learned more about Avatar Roku and Avatar Kyoshi. Then I eventually find out that Netflix is making a live-action version of the show. And my first thought is that it's going to be like Disney putting out their shitty live-action remakes. Then I see the trailer, and then I start to think that it looks pretty promising, although I was worried that something might happen. Then the news of them doing away with Sokka's sexism shows up, and I'm like, there it fucking is. You see, part of Sokka's character is that he starts off as a sexist jerk, then he learns that women are just as capable of doing great things just as much as men are. So yeah, sexism works. I'm joking. Then I watched it. What are my thoughts? Well... Okay, so first of all, I thought the acting was pretty good. Every actor did a fantastic job, and I also really liked the visuals. Everything looked fantastic. From the set, to the action, to the bending. It looked real. And it also didn't look stupid or goofy like it did in the live-action movie, where it had a scene where, like, 10 earthbenders were doing some type of goofy dance, and then it turns out it was only useful to be able to lift one fucking rock. That scene was just retarded. Here, the bending looked amazing, especially the fire bending. There were quite a few scenes where Fire Lord Ozai set people on fire, then burned them until they melted. Fire Lord Ozai was actually pretty scary here. I always thought that he was just kind of in the original cartoon, but here he was downright scary, and I'm glad they did that. They also took some creative liberties and added a few extra scenes that weren't in the original cartoon. Some good, some bad. My favorite extra was when the Fire Nation wiped out the air nomads. Now, like I said before, they took some creative liberties, and it really shows. There are only 8 episodes, but what they did was they combined some of the original episodes into one episode. They did this with almost every episode. Therefore, it kind of tells a different version of the story. For example, they covered the first 3 episodes in episode 1, and they also did a couple of add-ins with that episode, and it was so rushed. Especially when they went to the Air Temple. They also turned 2 plotlines into 1 plotline. They did this twice. The first time was the King Boomy plotline along with the Jet plotline. The second time was the Blue Spirit plotline, and the plotline where Aang goes to see that spirit that can steal people's faces. I forgot his name. However, they did have the episode with Suki just focus on that plotline only, which I'm kind of glad they did, but Suki was so fucking bland. Okay, so in the original series, she proved Sokka wrong when he thought men were better at fighting than women, and they grew closer and they eventually became a couple. They even had chemistry. Here, they had no chemistry, and it felt like they only became a couple because it was needed. They also had the secret tunnel, which we don't even see until Book 2 in the original series. And I also don't like what they did with King Boomy. In the original series, King Boomy was a huge goofball, and it was great. Here, he was too serious and a cranky old man. However, I am actually willing to let all this slide if it wasn't for the series' biggest problem. Are you ready for it? Here we go. Aang did not learn waterbending. Yep. The whole point of Book 1 is to have Aang learn waterbending. Hell, it's literally called Book 1 Water. They even have him learn waterbending in the movie. Now that is embarrassing when the movie does something better. You know what? Despite the many mistakes the Netflix series made, it's still 1,000 times better than the movie. Yeah, at least the Netflix series respected the source material. Thank God they didn't make a god-awful disaster. At least they tried. They still failed, but at least they tried. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. That being said, it's still not very good. I'm going to give the live-action Netflix adaptation of Avatar The Last Airbender a 4 out of 10. Alright, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you want me to review in the future. And next time, I'm going to be ranking everything in Avatar media. I'll be covering all 3 seasons of the original cartoon, all 4 seasons of The Legend of Korra, the live-action movie, and the Netflix series. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.